So yes, I am making this video. I'm actually making this video for a second time because I filmed it yesterday, but the microphone went all Atypical on Netflix. Who's watched it, first of all? Well, I assume you have if you're looking at this. Actually, you might not be. You might be trying to gauge if you want to watch it or not. So, let me tell you as much as I can without spoiling everything. First of all, if you haven't seen what I thought of the trailer, make sure you go and have a look at that. I've linked that above now. There it is. I didn't have the best reaction to the trailer. The first thing I will start off by saying is that the trailer is very misrepresentative. That's how you speak? Yes. What I've realised, the purpose of the trailer was to attract a non-autistic audience, as in people who aren't related to anyone who's autistic, people who, yeah, basically the general audience. I feel the trailer overall did not take into consideration those on the spectrum themselves, and that's actually something that continued through the series, but we'll get onto that. To start off with, I ended the first episode and I was sat there in absolute tears. I did not expect to have that reaction. Why? With me and my autism, I don't really feel too much of an alien. I just feel that everyone else is different. That's probably due to my low emotional intelligence that I don't really think about everyone else. Watching the programme, it really made me feel like, oh, so that's how other people see me. That's a bit poo. Am I really that much of an alien to people? That's really not very nice. I thought, okay, that's it, I'm not going to watch any more of the series. Then I went to sleep, woke up in the morning, thought, you know what, it's a series, it might have an art, it might be able to pick itself up again. And for the next 3 episodes, I did keep crying off and on, just being that upset by it, just the whole wow. The reason it stopped after 4 episodes was because I think it was just more of a case of get a grip, man. Yeah, it wasn't the series resolving itself, it was me going, right, okay, just accept it, who cares. The reason I got so upset is because I don't normally empathise with characters in fictional things other than like the Doctor or Sherlock or intelligent characters like that. But for me, Sam, he's 18, I'm 19, male, yeah, it was very easy to put myself in that situation. That's one thing I don't think the series was very considerate of, the autistic people ourselves. It's definitely written from a perspective of an autistic family. That's what it focuses around, as in a family that has someone who's autistic in it. The relationships they got right between Sam and his younger sister, that is me and my sister. You know, you've seen the video, if you haven't, there we go. That's how me and my sister are. My sister's younger than me, she feels that she has to care for me even though she's younger and that frustrates her. That relationship, they got perfectly. That's enough for me to go, okay, someone's going to get something from this series. Like if it's someone who's got an autistic brother or sister watching it, they're going to go, right, yeah, that's how I feel. Yes, finally. I just don't think it's particularly nice to people on the spectrum. The whole dating thing, that's a big thing. That was a whole controversy with it. Something I slagged off myself. Do you know what? Dating's not as big a part of it as the trailer makes out, and it's kind of, in the series, it's a different way to how you think it is. From the trailer, you get the impression that the therapist is encouraging it. And yes, she is encouraging it, but she's it's more him. What they don't even explain very well in the series actually is the fact that dating becomes an obsession. He's just like, I need to date, I want to date. It's very easy to become obsessed with things. It doesn't address it as an obsession, it just addresses him as wanting to date. The therapist should have been holding him back a bit, being like, Sam, no, don't need to go this far. But ultimately, yeah, they got a lot of the things right on how I would feel about it. Problem is, yeah, okay, it upset me again. It's like, I'm not going to be able to ever do this. But you know how I feel about that. Again, something I've talked about. I feel this entire video is just me linking to other videos I've done. That's YouTube. I do still feel though that the dating is used as a comedy thing, to just how autistic people would react in a dating situation, because it would be a comedic thing. There was a lot of laughing at Sam's autism as opposed to laughing with. For example, I know that myself and quite a lot of other people, we just laugh at ourselves. Obviously everyone on the spectrum is different. We are able to laugh at ourselves and use ourselves as comedy. That's how a lot of people play off autism actually. Education wise, this was a series that, do you know what, to be fair to it, it did pretty good on the education front. Yes, it was a bit in your face at times, what this did. So normally a series will go, oh, we're not very good at empathy or we're STEM, but this said, oh, autistic people STEM, and then explained the reasoning behind it. So it was very educational, and someone who has nothing about autism, that would be very beneficial. Could have been done a little more subtle at times, but you know what, yeah, fair enough, they're educating. In terms of the main character being stereotypically autistic, it's annoying, it is annoying that they've just used every single stereotype, but I think that's what they're using to hook everyone onto. What we've got to remember is this is a series, it's not a film. Yes, films have sequels, but Netflix series are likely to have second series, and with that allows more development. You know, in the second series, I'd love to see Sam meet other autistic people ranging on the spectrum. We can include all different races of autism, because of course you don't just have to be a white male. Yeah, I contradict that, but okay. It'd be really interesting to see. The fact that Sam wasn't portrayed by an autistic actor, that's an annoying one, to be completely honest. Yeah, fair enough, he did the role pretty well. It's just, it didn't seem that much of a challenging role that it needed a neurotypical to do. Like, other things I could argue, fair enough, an autistic person wouldn't actually be able to do that. I'm no actor, but I could have easily done what Sam did in the series. They did have an autistic actor in the series, but what really annoyed me is they used his character as a weirdo, basically. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what they did. If you're going to have an autistic person in it, either have them as autistic and state they're autistic to make a point, or have them as autistic playing a neurotypical to completely throw everything. There is quite a lot of us on the spectrum that could easily pass as neurotypical. I'd like to think I could at times. Not all the time, definitely not. I am definitely going to make a whole video on should neurotypicals portray autistic characters. That will come very soon. But the series as a whole, I said this in my trailer review, I'm not really into American series, so that thing kind of set me back a bit anyway. But it was nice to have an autistic character to relate to. To be fair to the series, there is a lot of room for improvement, and they could do that with the second series. I really think they could save themselves. Got to be completely fair to them, they did get some things right. I have talked to people at Netflix. Yeah, check me. I've pointed them in the direction of where they need to be looking if they're going to a series 2, where they need to be consulting. NAS. And to be fair, the person who I spoke to was autistic. There are autistic people working on this show. That was good to hear. I feel I may have rushed this review slightly and might have missed things, but we can always discuss things in the comments, that's fine. So make sure you comment down your thoughts. But ultimately, if you haven't watched this series, I would say watch it if you're not on the spectrum. It will give you a very good idea of kind of how autism works in general, well, how autism fits into normal life, as in with the families and stuff. Leading on to watch it if you have an autistic person in your family. That might be quite good for a bit of relief for you. But if you're on the spectrum, I'd say it might be a bit tough to watch at times. It might frustrate you, but just remember it's one person's account of autism. That's what we're looking at. So don't get too bogged down about it like I did. Biggest problem, I have no idea where my wand is. Found it, we're all good. Do let me know what you thought of the series. Let me know what offended you. Let me know where there's room for improvement. But I do think we have to give them more credit than I was initially going to. And just consult more autistic people next time, please. I really hope it does get renewed for a second series, purely so it can save itself from some of the errors it made in the first. Also low-key, because I would want to be cast in it, because I got rejected from the A word. Ooh. Thank you very much for watching. Knox.